Welcome to North Carolina Weekend. I'm Deborah Holt Noel. People in Hillsborough have a new way to get around town. It's the new Riverwalk, and this 1.8-mile trail is already a popular destination. Producer Derek Long explores the variety of trails to get out and explore Hillsborough in this installment of The Fitness Files.
Hillsborough offers residents and visitors a variety of hiking trails for practically any type of experience you're looking for. For some quiet reflection and serenity, the Air Mountain Historic Site offers the Poets Walk, a 1-mile trail providing an opportunity to meander the grounds of this Federalist-style plantation house built by William Kirkland in 1815. The historic Occoneechee Speedway and James Johnston Nature Preserve is a 44-acre site with 4 miles of hiking trails. The 1-mile oval speedway track is a popular spot for runners. Take as many laps as you'd like on one of NASCAR's original stock car tracks, where legends like Junior Johnson, Richard Petty, Ned Jarrett, and Fireball Roberts competed. On the western side of town, the Occoneechee Mountain State Natural Area offers a little more strenuous hiking experience with around 3 miles of trails. The Loop Trail takes you along the Eno River and up to the summit. At 350 feet, Occoneechee Mountain is the highest point in Orange County. The newest addition to Hillsborough's variety of trails is the 1.8-mile Riverwalk Urban Greenway Trail.
We have a lot of people that are using it for commuting to and from Weaver Street and downtown Hillsborough. We have a lot of people that are using it for recreation. Also, school groups have been coming down and using the trail as an outdoor classroom. There's a lot of people that are using the trail that we didn't even anticipate. I always imagined that folks that lived around the edges of near the trail entrances would be using the trail on a daily basis, but what we're seeing is that it's really bringing people from a more regional draw. We have a lot of folks that are coming from out of town to use the trail, and another thing that's been really exciting and surprising is to see people using it that are employees in town during the day, leaving their offices during their lunch break, coming out, getting a half an hour of exercise, just getting away from the desk and using it for that sort of health and breathing space and recreational purposes in the center of the day. And also just the simple fact that it's an ADA accessible trail and that bicycles are allowed means that a lot more people have access to the trail than some of the other trail systems in the area.
10 interpretive signs along the trail provide information about different natural, cultural, and physical features of the area. The next phase of the project is to link the Riverwalk Trail to the Occoneechee Mountain and Speedway trails.
Certainly by this time next year, it'll be easy for people to walk from the mountain to the speedway on this trail system.
Riverwalk is also part of the North Carolina Mountains to Sea Trail.
Within just a few feet from the main corridor, people can exit the trail system, be in downtown Hillsborough, see some of our tourist sites and attractions. There's restaurants and bathrooms if anyone needs to step off the trail for that, but it's certainly a unique aspect of this part of the trail. Most of the Mountains to Sea Trail is more remote through the state. Parts of the trail that I really like to tell people about have to do with the way that it was constructed. The town made some really strategic choices early on. One of those choices was to try to work with the natural slopes and landscape as much as possible and to preserve as many of the trees as possible. So as you walk the corridor, you'll notice that it feels like it's been here a long time because there's a lot of shade over the trail and there's a lot of branches. There's very little damage to the trees that we were able to keep. That's something I think that people respond to emotionally as they're using the trail, but don't exactly know how or why that's accomplished. And in this case, the town board went above and beyond and spent the money to protect that natural landscape and to provide that experience for people, and we're really proud of it.
For more information about hiking and the many other things to do in Hillsborough, go by the Visitor Center at 150 East King Street or go online to visit hillsboroughNC.com. For more about fitness and healthy living, check out the Fitness Files at fitness.unctv.org.